To start, we need to create our vanishing point. So you'll create a dot towards the top of your paper, and this is our vanishing point. Our vanishing point is where all our lines are going to go to create a 1-point perspective. So you'll also need a ruler so that we can line up our lines with the vanishing point. I'm going to start with the walls of my building. So I'm making a line that goes all the way to the edge of my paper towards the top right side, and another line for the bottom of my wall. And mine went off to the bottom of my paper on the right hand side. Now we'll do the same thing on the other side of your paper. So I'm creating a line for the top of my wall, and that'll be towards the top of my paper, making sure it's going to my vanishing point, and then another line for the bottom of my wall. Now we have these big triangles. We want to make our corners of our room. So we're going to make a straight line down on the left triangle and erase the triangle's point. So make sure you're drawing very, very lightly so that the erasing is so much easier for you. Now we need to make our corner on the other wall over here. So decide where you want that straight line to go. This is the only line that's not going to our vanishing point. Then erase the point of the triangle. Then we have a wall on the left side and a wall on the right side. And we want to make our back wall now. So creating that corner to create an entire room. So we're going to take our ruler and line up our bottom two corners and make a straight line, and our top two corners and attach with a straight line. Now we have our 1-point perspective room. Now you can add things like windows and doors in your walls. Remember, we want these to still go to our vanishing point. Now my windows on my side walls are going to line up with that vanishing point. I decided to make a pretty big window over here. And then connect those lines that were going to the vanishing point with a straight line. Now I'm going to create some windows on my other wall. Making sure that I'm lined up with that vanishing point. And making some straight lines. Now this time I made 2 smaller windows. You can make as many windows or doors as you'd like. Connect your lines with a straight line up and down. You may have to erase some of your edges of your lines to make it look more realistic. If you finish designing all your windows and doors, we're going to start making our checkered board floor. So on your floor, you're going to line up with your vanishing point and make stripes going up and down all the way throughout your floor. Make sure to double check that your ruler is lining up with your vanishing point. Otherwise, the perspective is going to look a little bit off. Now that we have those lines, we're going to turn these into squares by making straight lines across. Now these lines do not line up with your vanishing point, but pay attention to your squares. Make sure that you're creating squares and not rectangles. That's how you'll know you're doing the right amount of space between each line. You want squares, not rectangles. Now you don't have to finish all of this in one day. Really take your time with it. Drawing in perspective with a vanishing point can take a little bit more time than drawing without your vanishing point. But if you do finish all of your pencil lines, you can go ahead and go over all of your lines with a black marker or a black Sharpie. If you feel like you can't make these straight lines without your ruler, feel free to use your ruler for this part.